Today we will talk about how to factor a quadratic equation into two simple brackets. To achieve this, we will do three steps. So we must find two numbers that multiply to AC and at the same time add up to B. So two numbers that multiply to AC, so A times C, and then add up to B. And then this is done by looking at factors of AC. So we will see an application where we can achieve this. So we will see an application where we can apply this. So here is our an example, and we need to find AC first. So AC is gonna be, so A is the first coefficient, which is 1. This is the coefficient on the x squared, and C is the coefficient on the last term, the third term, which is 6. So 1 times 6 is simply just 6. And then we know that B is equal to 5. That's the coefficient on the second term, which is the x. And so we need to find two numbers that multiply to 6 and add up to 5 at the same time. So how can we find these two numbers? Well, from the last step, we can achieve this by looking at the factors of AC. And what are the factors of 6? Well, they're simply 1, 2, 3, and 6. So we can see like some multiplication. So what two numbers can multiply to 6? All possible combinations. So we have 1 times 6, and we have 2 times 3, and that's it. So we see all of these, like these two over here, they multiply to AC, multiply to 6, which is good. But which one of them add up to 5? Which one of them from these two adds up to 5? Is it the first one? No, it doesn't add up to 5. What about the second one? 2 plus 3 is 5, so it does add up. So these are the two numbers that we have, and we can break them down into two brackets, and we can just put them inside each bracket. So one is 2, and the other is plus 3. That's how we factor a quadratic equation. This is our second exercise. You can pause the video and try it. Okay, so we need to find AC, the same as previous. AC is equal to 1 times 10, which is 10, and our B coefficient is, as we know, 7. So we need to find, again, two numbers that multiply to 10 and add up to 7. So what are these numbers? We can look at factors of AC, which is 10 factors of 10, and factors of 10 are 1, 2, what else? 5 and 10. So we need to look at combinations. What about 1 times 10? That does not add up to 2. Okay, what about 2 times 5? So we need to find two numbers that multiply to 10 and adds up to 7. This 1 times 10 does not work because it does not add up to 7. What about 2 and 5? 2 and 5 definitely work. They do add up to 7. One with x plus 2 and the other with x plus 5. And this is our final answer. This one is slightly different. So our goal is to make it simple. And the goal here is to make the coefficient on the x squared, or the first term, to be 1. We want the coefficient on the first term to be 1. So how about we see a common multiplier between these, and we see 5 as a common. So we factor out the 5, and we will have the following. Okay, right now we have this quadratic equation inside the bracket. What we need to do is we need to treat it separately. So if we treat it separately like this, we take it and we want to factor this. So what is AC? AC is 1 times 1, which is 1. So you're taking the coefficient on the x squared itself. So you're treating it as a quadratic by itself. And our B coefficient is 2. So we need to find two numbers that multiply to 1 and add up to 2. So what are these numbers? Well, obviously, factors of AC, which is factors of 1, is just 1. So the only thing you have, so if you were to look at factors of 1, you just have 1. And what do you have? You just have like 1 times 1. And these two numbers multiply to 1 and add up to 2. So right away you can make the two brackets. So both of them will have x plus 1 in each bracket. And don't forget the 5, because we factored out a 5. So this 5 goes down. There's a 5 over here. And this is essentially equals to 5 because we have duplicates, a duplicate of the x plus 1. We have two of them. So it's gonna be x plus 1 squared. And that's gonna be our final answer. Okay, so we need to find AC, but can we find AC from here? Well, we check first if we have a common multiplier, and we do have a common one, which is 4. We can pull out 4. We can factor out 4. So simply we are going to have x squared plus 2x plus 1. And we do the same thing. We find a times c, which is 1 times 1, which equals to 1, and our coefficient b is 2. So again, it's the same as previous question 3. So our combination is again 1 times 1. 1 times 1, it does multiply to 1 and adds up to 2. So our two brackets will be x plus 1 and x plus 1. And don't forget that we factored out the 4, so it's going to go down. And this is going to equal to 4 times x plus 1 squared, and that's going to be our final answer.